Hey everybody! In today's video, I'm going to show you my whole process for how I aged and dirtied up the scarf and pants for my Lara Croft cosplay. I'm combining both of these things in one video because they weren't super involved and I kind of worked on them at the same time. It wasn't going to be enough material to just do the scarf on its own. That would be like a 2-minute video. So yes, I'm putting them together so you can see both these things happen at once. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say before I just jump in and show you guys what I did. We are getting down to the wire here. There is officially 2 weeks until C2E2. There's still a lot more to come out in the next 2 weeks. I'm really happy with how these two things turned out. Yeah, not much else to say in the intro. I made some pants and a scarf real dirty. So let's just get into it. Alright, so I started out with a big bowl of black tea. I had just steeped it, so it's still really hot. I don't think that really matters as much for dyeing the fabric, but it was fresh tea. So I stuffed the scarf in the bowl. I realized I didn't have quite enough tea. It was soaking up a lot more than I thought it would. I also had to use a little spoon because the tea was very hot. I had just made it, so I didn't feel like sticking my hands in there. So I made a second little bowl of tea so I could pour that on top to make sure that the whole scarf was just completely soaked. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that every part of it was getting wet and soaked, and set that aside and let that sit for a while. I actually ended up letting that hang dry overnight, and the tea worked really great on it. It's kind of hard to see right now. You'll see better in the finished shot, but it did a really good job of making just a thin, like, dirty layer on the whole scarf. I also went over, as you can see, with just like a little cheap eyeshadow and just smudged brown all over it to also kind of emphasize wrinkles and also just make it look as dirty as possible. There wasn't really any specific type of strategy or technique here. Basically just took a little makeup sponge and smudged it all over the place. As you can see, it looks nice and dirty, and there we go. On to the pants. For the pants, just like I did with the jacket, I went over and I sanded all the seams and edges that were sticking out. So basically, like, down the seams of the pants, obviously these side pockets, I wanted to get these really rough looking. Didn't do nearly as much sanding on the pants as I did with the jacket. I did want, like, the pockets and a lot of the edges to look rougher, partially because of how light the pants are. I mean, the sanding did make a difference, as you can see when I start going all over, that it does make it look faded and more worn out. But yeah, I kind of just did a quick run over after I got the seams really good. I just went and sanded in all the open space areas. Just tried to get the pants looking a little more worn in and scuffed up. So the next thing I did was cut a hole in the knee, and I actually cut a little thin strip off the edge too, just to make it a little more open looking, because I do want to put a kind of fake cut on my actual knee. And then I went over and sanded the edges to make the edges really frayed. I wanted some strings to make it look like it had really been torn open. And then, just like with the scarf and the jacket, went in with makeup sponge and eyeshadow and just dirtied up these pants So I did notice that it was important for me to get the quote-unquote dirt really evenly spread out, because when I first apply the eyeshadow, it does kind of just make a darker like little spot, and I really had to make sure I blended that out, because otherwise it looked like I just had a bunch of random little dirt spot, kind of a leopardy look, not as natural looking. So took my time on this to try to get things as spread out as I could. And I also went in with the lighter brown shade to add some variation, so it wasn't just the dark brown. And of course, more blood. Again, just mixed some red and black acrylic paint and added a few drops of water to thin it out a little bit, and just got this all around the edge of this hole in my knee. What can I say? I am going to be a bloody Laura, and you know, I think that's pretty realistic for the things she does. So now this is the only bloody spot on the pants, but I think in the finishing touches, when I am putting everything all together, I'm going to have like a bandage wrapped around the other leg, because she actually does have one of those. Oh, and one thing I do want to point out is I did put a little folded paper towel underneath the hole, because I didn't want the paint to be soaking through to the other side. I only wanted the paint around this hole, around these edges. So there is some paper towel under there so that I could just freely paint, because I got not just the outside, but I painted the inside of the edges too, because obviously the blood would be on my knee, which would be touching the inside of the pants, it would leak to the outside. Yeah, put a little paper towel under there, and then I could just really paint freely and just really soak up the complete edge of the hole. I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. The black tee on the scarf worked really well. I was a little concerned when I first got the scarf in the mail, because I'm not sure exactly what kind of fabric it is. It's almost kind of like a sweater. It's not cashmere, but it's very like soft and almost kind of fluffy. But soaking it in the hot tea not only added the color, but it kind of stiffened it up a little bit and added some wrinkling to it. So that helped a lot. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. The pants, like I mentioned in the video, I didn't need to do as much sanding and distressing on them as I did the jacket. Yes, I wanted them to look roughed up, but I didn't want to go overboard. And I'm going to have some things on the pants, like I have a gun holster that'll be wrapped to one leg. I'm probably gonna have like kind of bloodied bandage tied around the other leg. I didn't need as much like scuffing and scratching as I did the jacket. Just enough to look like they're worn in, but that didn't take nearly as long as it did to sand the jacket. Probably what took the longest was getting the eyeshadow everywhere on them. It's a lot of surface to cover, and I kind of mentioned in the process of it all, if I just smudged one little spot, it would just kind of make a little spot. So I had to really like blend everything out so it didn't look like I just had a bunch of polka dots basically. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I think once I have everything together and like everything on them and the boots on and stuff, I think it's gonna go together really well. One of the videos coming up in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing a like full, I guess, test kind of experiment with how I want to do my face makeup with the dirt and some cuts and stuff, and that will include trying to do something on my knee, because I can't have a bloody hole in my pants with just a plain unscathed knee. But yeah, I have a few more things to do, so stay tuned. You can follow me on all social media at its_justcaitlin, or on Facebook is It's Just Caitlin. I will be posting updates as I'm working on things and as these videos are coming out, because right now I'm not really on a schedule. I'm kind of just posting things as I can get them done. So with that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!